Let's consider how the greenhouse effect works on Earth. Radiation comes from the sun to Earth's atmosphere. We cannot actually feel the heat from the sun. The heat from the sun does not transfer very well through space at this distance. So what we feel is not the heat from the sun. What hits the Earth all the way from the sun is solar energy, it's sunlight. So Earth receives solar energy from the sun as sunlight. And some of that sunlight, some of that light energy just bounces off the Earth and is reflected into space. But some of it is absorbed and converted into heat. So it's the light that enters the atmosphere and then is converted into heat. Some of that heat then radiates off into space, and some of it is trapped within the biosphere. It's absorbed by photosynthetic organisms and by living things. So all the living things on Earth trap some of that heat. Earth's average temperature is determined by the balance between the amount of heat that stays in the biosphere and the amount lost to space. This balance is largely controlled by the concentrations of 3 different greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. There are more greenhouse gases, but these are the 3 most important: carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor. Only some of the radiation represented by the arrows in the diagram is reflected by Earth and passes back to space through the atmosphere. The arrows represent either visible light or infrared light, which humans perceive as heat. Visible light has shorter wavelengths and can pass through the atmosphere, whereas infrared light has longer wavelengths and can be absorbed by greenhouse gases. So think about what part of the greenhouse can be compared to the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. The answer is the glass. The glass from on the greenhouse allows the light to pass into the greenhouse and to be converted into heat when it comes into contact with the gases inside the greenhouse. Without the greenhouse effect, Earth would be about 30 degrees cooler than it is today. The 3 greenhouse gases that were mentioned enter and leave the atmosphere as part of nutrient cycles. So they move through the biosphere and the atmosphere. Their concentration in the atmosphere can therefore be affected by natural and human-caused changes in those cycles. If changes in nutrient cycles raise greenhouse gas concentrations, then the atmosphere retains more heat because it has more greenhouse gases, and Earth warms, gets warmer. If the concentrations fall, this means if the amount of those greenhouse gases decreases, then more heat will escape into space and the Earth will cool down.